Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and I'm glad that you clicked on this video. And we are going to be repotting my Syngonium Albo. He is on a moss pole that I did a long time ago, so I'm going to be taking him off and redoing the pole and adding in a cutting. Showing you guys this moss pole up close, but this is one of the first plants that I actually put on a moss pole. And when I first did his pole, I used a really tiny skinny pole. I really didn't know how to make them or what I was doing. And I've already extended this guy once, and he's getting to the point where he's getting kind of tall again. And it's kind of too wobbly. I don't really have a good stake for support. So I make my poles differently now. So I have a pole that is pre-made that I made the other day. So I'm going to be taking this guy off. He's actually not attached. His aerial roots never attached into this moss. I just don't know why. He just never attached. So I don't have to break any roots or anything. I don't have to really go digging around in the moss to take this guy off. And he lost a lot of stems on this bottom section, a lot of leaves. And so I'm going to be adding a small cutting in on the bottom part to kind of fill this out and let it climb up as well. So I'll give you a closer look at this pole and we'll start to undo this guy. So this is a closer look at the moss pole. This was one of the very first poles I did. It's very small, it's not sturdy at all, and I just want to redo this entire thing. And I have a feeling this guy is pretty root bound in here too. So I have a bigger pot. This is an 8-inch that I'm going to be repotting him in. And this is where it originally lost all of the leaves. I took a top cutting from him a long time ago here, and this is like all new growth from that cut out of that node. It's given me all this new growth, and it's actually reverted here at the top. Like these two latest leaves are all green. So I'm not going to cut this guy yet. I'm just going to be adding him on the new pole, and I'll show you. I have this cutting here. This has been in my prop box, and I'm going to be adding this guy into the new pot here, and I'm going to basically secure him over top of this vine just to fill in this gap, because I don't like the way that this is really growing. And even though his roots haven't attached, and I still want him to climb, you know, because he is pretty climbing up a pole. So yeah, let me undo this guy and I will show you what his roots and everything look like in the process of adding a plant on a pole. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna add some soil into the bottom of this pot. And this is just an 8-inch nursery pot. I get these off Amazon. I think it came in like a set of maybe 10 or more, I think. So I like nursery pots for a lot of my plants. And I have my normal potting mix here. This is my chunky mix that I always use. I think this guy's gonna appreciate a repot because I'm pretty sure he's pretty root bound. I added him in this pot. Oh, it's been a while, but he was pretty, I remember he had a lot of roots when I put him into this white pot. So I'm pretty sure that he's gonna be even more rooted. And I can kind of tell he's drying a bit too. Like I usually can tell when plants get root bound because they tend to dry out faster and they need water more frequently. And if you see roots coming out of the bottom of the pot, that's definitely also a sign that they're getting root bound. So I added some soil into the bottom here. All right, before I put this pole in, I'm going to undo this guy here. I'm not exactly sure how to go about this. So we are just going to take all of this Velcro off. So I'm just taking all of these like greening pins off that's supporting the vine. I basically have him pretty much loose, and none of his roots have attached. Yeah, he basically has one long aerial root here and that's it. And I hope I don't snap this guy. That is the last thing I want to do, is snap this. All right, so look how long this thing is. It's so tall, but none of his roots have attached into the pole, so not sure why. Maybe it just was drying out so fast that it never really had a chance to attach into the moss. I do water his pole though, but a lot of it leaks into the actual pot. Piece of tape. All right, so we are going to dump this guy out. All right, I am going to secure this in the, so I'm going to fill this bottom part of the pole with soil. Have this in the center of the pot here, like that. And I'm gonna add some more soil because this thing is not secured in here yet. But this guy has a lot of roots, so I want to try and get his roots in this pot before I fill up with soil. Then I'm going to fill all the way up. Oh, you know what? I forgot I have my cutting to do too. So I want to put my cutting here in the front as well. Let's see. So this is my cutting here. It's been in my prop box. It kind of has more moss than I want on here, but it'll be fine. The moss will break down in the soil. I don't like to leave a ton of moss on my roots because it can kind of lead to rot if too much moisture hugs the roots, but this will be okay. All right, so I have my cutting here and then the top part, and then so I'm gonna fill all the way up around with soil just to secure these in the pole better. I love Syngonium Albo. This original Syngonium I got a while ago. It's been on the pole for a while, and I sold that top cut, and it just like strangely lost all those bottom leaves, and I'm not really sure why it did that. But I love Syngoniums. I have a lot in my collection, but I fell in love with them after I got this Albo, because I got this before I got Monstera Albo, and I really just fell in love with the variegation. And at that time, I just knew that I couldn't get an Albo. So after I got the Syngonium, and I didn't like Syngonium at first, it wasn't until after some time that I had the Albo that I just like fell in love with Syngonium. And so now I probably have over 10 different kinds in my collection, and I just love them. I find a lot of them are pretty easy care, like pretty easy going, which is great. So I don't really find they cause me too much trouble at all. So I don't know, if you don't have a Syngonium, I highly recommend. I love the Aria. I just got that one not too long ago because I love the yellow variegation, And I also got, I love the Baltic, the Syngonium Baltic. That one is another good one. And I like the pink splash as well. That's one of my favorites. So I honestly just love them. So if you don't have a Syngonium, I highly recommend getting one. The next thing I'm going to do before I attach this guy is I'm going to add a green stake to the back of this pole to support this. And I'm going to do this off camera because I did that in a different video. So if you want to see how I add a stake to a pole, I can link that video up here for you. So you can kind of somewhat see what I did with that. But I'm going to go ahead and add the stake off camera, and then I will show you how I am going to attach this guy back onto my pole. All right, we are back. I have added my stake to the back of the pole here, and I zip tied it just to give it some support so it's pretty steady. And then I gotta find a heavier pot to set this plastic one in so that it doesn't like wobble too much, because the plastic netting is a bit wobbly than metal. It's pretty secure, but this needs to sit in something heavier since this is just plastic. I'll put this probably into like a heavier ceramic. So the next thing I'm going to do is I have these greening pens. These here, and I'm going to be attaching this vine back onto the moss, and I'm going to try and attach these nodes into the moss the best that I can, and I'm probably going to be using some plant Velcro too, just to help secure this guy.
Did I just break this?
Oh no, I hope I did not just break this guy. If I ended up breaking this, I'm gonna be so sad. I literally hope I did not just break this plant. Well, if it starts dying, then I know that I broke and snapped this stem. Maybe it's going to repair itself. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of plant Velcro to help secure some of these nodes into the moss better, and then I will pan around and show you guys what I did here. All right, so I'm gonna show you what I did here. So I'm worried that I snapped him here where this growth is. So I'm gonna keep an eye on this guy like right here. If this plant starts declining, then I will have to chop and prop him, but I'm worried I snapped it here. But I added the cutting into the bottom part, and so once this starts to climb, I will start attaching it to cover the empty nodes. And I pinned each node to the actual pole, like here. I did that all the way up, and I kept attaching it where the aerial roots are. And then I put some Velcro to tightly secure some of the nodes against the moss to hopefully encourage those roots to grow, because they actually never grew into the moss. So it is like pretty tall. The last two growths have been, this newest growth here is definitely smaller. So, and it's all green. These last two growths have been all green. So I might end up chopping and propping this guy anyway. We'll see. I don't know. I like the way he was climbing at first, but he just kind of looks a little bit crazy. So we'll see. Maybe he'll kind of straighten himself out and grow more. If he does, like, I'm going to probably give him 2 more growths. If they're all green, I'm going to cut that back because I don't want them to keep continuing to green. So I would probably cut below the last white part, which would be here, is where I would cut to propagate. So we'll see. But I'm going to give this guy a water, and yeah, I'll definitely keep you updated on the growth pattern and see if I accidentally snap that, then I will be propping him. So we shall see, but that's what it looks like for now. So thank you for watching another one of my videos, and I really hope that you end up subscribing to my channel if you're new here. I really appreciate the support, and yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. This is the reality of filming with cats. This one wants my attention all the time. Whenever I break out the filming stuff, She just wants attention and love all the time. She's cute though. Look how cute she is. I love her. I love her, yes I do. See, I love you.